You see, you know when I try looking for things online, I find 1,000 things of everyone else talking about the thing, but I don't exactly want to steal content. So I try looking for the thing, but then I'm like, oh fuck it, I'll just have my take. Now I finally found that article that talked about how they changed like the localization and makes people flip the fuck out. We're talking about localizers again. Hell yeah, brother. So, the house in Fata Morgana localization was translated tsundere to male to fragile male ego has triggered criticism from Western visual novels fans. Well, again, it's not just Western fans, right? I mean, even the Japanese are seeing this and be like, "Wait, what did the fuck did they just do?" Originally released in 2016 by developers Navatalat. I'm not even gonna try to say that word. And written by Kieka Hanada, the House of House in Fata Morgan follows a spirit that has lost their memories. With the guidance of a mysterious maid, the spirit relives the past of the mansion in search of clues in their identity. The maid guides the spirit from early in the mansion's why? What the fuck? Early in the mansion's history in the 11th century to a recent as the 19th century. The house mysteriously seems to change locations throughout the game, begging the question of whether what the spirit is seeing is even real or relevant to their situation. The translation controversy came to light despite the game's age after a recent live tweeting of the backstage extras by Twitter using Iris posting, who includes how the character Jacopo was diminished for having a fragile male ego. Twitter user Yukinganta, whatever the fuck, a freelance translator who worked on the game, retweeted this part of the thread and provided greater context. She explained that originally the game called Jacobo a tsundere, which typically refers to an anime character who acts harshly towards those they actually adore. It's worth noting that the extras are intended to be non-canon and joking in the tone, with the character breaking the fourth wall as they were actors. Whatever the fuck. The translator also pointed out that after the controversy caught steam, that she was translated tsundere as in other projects, and that the decision in this particular instance was due to consideration of setting, time period, character voice, target audience. Okay, so again, what they mean by this is they tried to current day you. They tried to current day you. And yeah, this is 2016, but people are catching on to what's happening in the industry, and they're like, especially in Japanese translation into English, and they're like, okay, this does not look right. Again, you could just use the word tsundere, right? Not everything needs to be translated to the modern audience. And people are like, oh, wait, what does that mean? They Google the fucking word and they're like, oh, so he's just playing hard to get. Or they could just say you're playing hard to get. But both Manga Gamer and the critic official English Twitter of I'm not going to try saying that word has come out to say that they support the translation decision made. Manga Gamer also condemned harassment directed at the translator. We would like to make it abundantly clear that we stand behind our localization staff and do our utmost to ensure that the developers' wishes are respected as well. While there are numerous equally valid approaches to any given translation problem, harassment is not one of them. I mean, yeah, I agree that harassing them is not the good thing, but that's not what most people are saying. They're looking at the translation and being like, okay, you've completely changed, right, the formula of that argument, of that interaction. Like, she went from it being a ha ha he he banter to her just being a bitch. And again, if you change it that much in the English translation, people will see it. Like, people will see the direct dichotomy between these things. And again, it's at the time where people are shitting on local Western localizers because, I mean, they're parasites at this point and liars, according to Asmongold, and they're voicing their disclaimer and their frustration. And again, I don't believe criticism equals harassment just because you say it does, right? I understand we want to change definitions and change words around, but again, criticism is not harassment. Like, let's make this clear, right? Anything else? Where our comments go, subscribe. Fuck you, I ain't subscribing to shit. But yeah, finally, I found the fucking article that talked about it. And again, shitting on localizers again. Hell yeah. I mean, there's nothing more to say. I mean, what more can I say that no one else has already said about localizers and the fact that they're effectively liars and they effectively add their own political takes. It's like they don't even try, right? Because again, you don't have everything doesn't need to be translated into English and translated into this, that, and the other. Allowing the viewer to be like, oh hey, what does this mean? Then to look it up, like they're like, oh yeah, he's playing hard to get. Like that's part of the experience, right? Like you don't need to translate ramen into noodle soup. You can just call it ramen. People be like, oh, what's ramen? Oh, well, it's technically noodle soup. Like I think that's the point. Treating the reader or treating the consumer like they're adults and not like they're children. Not like you have to current day everything because you have the mind, because the localizers have the mindset of bumbling fucking children. They have to treat everyone else like that. Like that doesn't make any sense to me, right? Or they're just being purposefully disingenuous, right? They have daddy issues. They hate the IP. They hate the fact that they're working for Japanese man, so they have to do everything in their power to, like, they just have to spread their vile and their vitriol to everyone else, right? And in that case, I mean, if you're replaced by AI, sucks to suck, loser. I mean, it is what it is, Lucy. Lucy's like, hell yeah, brother. But that's all I gotta say about this. Peace.